And in Russia and so many other places, residents paid tribute to victims of the Paris attacks, laying flowers at the French embassy.
On behalf of the Australian people, I extend our deep sympathy to the people of France. Our thoughts and prayers are with them at this terrible time. Freedom stands up for itself, stands up for its values in the face of terrorism. In France, in Australia, all around the world. We stand shoulder to shoulder with the people of France and with all free peoples in the battle against terrorism.
In the United States, New York bolstered security on Friday night, saying officers from its Counterterrorism Response Command and other special units have been deployed in areas frequented by tourists and at the French consulate in Manhattan. The Islamic State has claimed responsibility for the attack, which it says was in retaliation for airstrikes carried out by the US-led coalition in Syria and Iraq. France is also part of the coalition.
Well, Nigeria's president has also added his voice in condemning the coordinated attacks in Paris, France, and called for multilateral cooperation and collaborative actions to end terrorism. President Muhammadu Buhari, in a statement, explained that he received the news of the attack with great shock and profound sadness. He condemned what he described as the dastardly and heinous terrorist attacks on innocent civilians in Paris. The statement added, quote, "On behalf of the government and people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I convey my heartfelt sympathy to President François Hollande and the people of France. As a country which has borne the terrible human cost of terrorist attacks, Nigeria stands in full solidarity with the government and people of France." End of quote. The president also extended his sincere condolences to the families, relatives and friends of the unfortunate victims of the attacks. Well, we're still focusing on that now. I'm being joined in the studio on the news at 10 by Professor Charles Dokubo. He's the head division of Defense and Strategic Analysis at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, NIIA. Good evening to you, Professor. Thank you so much for coming in. Yes. Now, looking at the attacks and listening to that report, what does it actually say about France intelligence, judging, from ongoing conversations and, of course, the terrorist news and the rest of it that has been hitting the airwaves? Did it seem as if France intelligence was lacking?
I wouldn't say that it was lacking, but the fact is that after they contained the Charles Hollande attack in France, I think the people of France also, they kept their guards down, and that was when this terrorist struck. Most times, you cannot watch 24 hours against terrorist actions. There could be just a window of vulnerability, and that is when they will just strike. You might take all the strategies and options that are necessary, quick fixes and long-term strategies to maintain and contain terrorism. But these people are just so wicked that they'll just look for area of vulnerability, soft targets. Look at the places that were attacked. Side part of the stadium, a theater, and then, a bar where people go to enjoy themselves. These were the places that the French people believe they live the life that they've been used to. And then it just happened.
But then, Professor, do you think that this is a game changer now for the coalition? That's the five great powers now. Do you think it's a coalition, a game changer for this coalition, especially, with regards waging war against terror groups like ISIS?
I doubt if it is. It's only strengthened their resolve in dealing with ISIS. The fact is that, you cannot keep your guards down again. You'll try as much as possible to coordinate action, share intelligence, and then, act. The fact that because a country has been hit, then you lower your grades, or you say you're going to withdraw. You don't bow down to, no nation will bow down to terrorist attack. The only thing it does is to strengthen their resolve and stiffen their spine in dealing with this terrorist action. They will try as much as possible. They've already spread their tentacles across the borders within the countries and trying to get down those people who perform this act. I believe with time, they'll get them around. But terrorist actions are not things that you can just contain.
It's good that you mentioned, getting into the borders, because, there's a very, very high case of refugee crisis in Europe right now. And so you have migrants coming into some of these countries. How do you think this is likely going to affect Europe's response to refugee crisis, especially with regards allowing migrants or refugees coming from some of these countries?
I think there is nothing you can do about it, in the sense that, you are trying to live the life you are used to, becoming a home to refugees, as it has happened in Second World War and all that. You cannot just turn your back on them. The only thing you have to do is to tighten up regulations. Look at these people, look at them carefully. A sort of racial profiling, in which you have to look at where they come from, what type of alliances they have, what type of organization they belong to, look at their fingerprints and all that, if you can find them in the global network, so that you can isolate them. You cannot, because of the act of these people, close your doors to people who are in desperate situations. And then you are a country that have developed so much. You have also been affected by war, Second World War, and you've seen refugees in your own country. You cannot now turn back the clock, saying that you're not going to do that. Although it will give chances to right-wing politics. In France, like Le Pen and his group, to talk against immigrants and people terming them, all immigrants, to be terrorists. But nations have to be careful. You cannot tarnish the image that you've built over the years because of such happenings. It does happen. But the only thing is the resolve of the international community, the nation, and also other security organizations to work in concert to make sure that activities like that, though difficult to contain, are reduced.
Yes, because, we're talking about lessons we can learn from this, not just for European countries, but for African countries as well. Nigeria is battling the insurgents, Boko Haram. So what lessons can be learned from this? The
fact is that you always have to maintain a high alert and a high level of security consciousness. And like I always say, security is not only for the police, the security agencies, it's for the indigents and citizens of the country. If you see things that are happening that are not used to happening in these areas, you have to allow the security organizations. You cannot close your eyes and say, because I am not a security personnel, that I'm not going to take care of these things. It's a difficult one, but we just have to try and tread a very careful path, so that the liberty we have and the security that we need does not impinge negatively on the liberty we enjoy.
Professor Dokubo, thank you so much for your perspectives.
Nice for having me. Thank you.
Professor Charles Dokubo is the head division of Defense and Strategic Analysis at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs. We're still talking security in part two. After the break, the Department of State Security announces a capture of another wanted Boko Haram suspect as the military dismisses reported threats of impending attacks in southwest Nigeria. That's in a moment. Stay with us.
As the sun rises over the hills of Abuja, so too dawns a new way of life and exquisite standard of living. Enjoy your own originally designed and quality-built home in the serene and secure environment of Sunrise Hills. Experience this uplifting lifestyle with breathtaking views of the city. Rise above. Sunrise Hills is unlike anything you've ever seen before. A new way of life is dawning in the heart of Nigeria.
Most people avoid the tough jobs. We're different. We're not here to complain that things are broken. We're here to fix them. You need someone that'll take the tough decisions and stand by their word. To do that, you need the best of the best. Physically, mentally. So it doesn't matter if it's creating opportunities or supporting economies. We know it's a tough job. But hey, somebody's got to do it. We are Fidelity. We keep our word.
Here when I'm never home is crystal clear and reliable. Other networks can't deliver what we deliver. We the best in the home.
As the sun rises over the hills of Abuja, so too dawns a new way of life and exquisite standard of